Every soldier gets a rifle. Sergeant says, "This one is yours, this one is mine." You holler back.
I think just because there's so many people, especially like in the Chicago area, I know this is true all around the country, but there's such a big military presence here, and to connect them with their stories and remembering like grandparents and friends and my father and everybody that we've known that's been in the military, they never talk about what happened to them, ever. And one of the most moving things to me was they had what they call a talk back afterwards, which we're going to do as well. So Jerry was on stage with their stage director, Ned, and many of the cast members, and one of the gentlemen said, I was in the Battle of the Bulge. Someone who was in the audience.
Yeah.
I was in the Battle of the Bulge. I have looked my entire life for something that told my story, and this is the only thing I've ever found that does.
After the attack, I lay in bed in broken bits, in so much crazy, stupid pain. The drugs, they help, but then they don't. And when they don't, you're left with you, but not the you knew back when. Not the you knew back when. That person might as well be dead. You're someone else you don't quite know. You're someone you don't recognize.
Remember that?
Yeah, absolutely. When we did the interviews with people, when we asked soldiers, one of the questions that we ask is, what do you want civilians
To know.
to know about your life? Like what your life looks like, what it feels like, what you value. The word sacrifice comes up a lot, right? This in regard to soldiers, but sometimes that word gets spoken so often it gets emptied out of its meaning.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
It loses, like, no, really, what does sacrifice look like?
They sacrificed their life for mine. They sacrificed it yesterday. Just yesterday. They're why I'm standing here right now. For soldiers gave their life for mine. My unit lost for guys. My brother's ages almost. Humvee blown a path into. They didn't make it out alive, but I did. Sacrifices in our bones, it's who we are. It's who I am.
And here we were in these rooms with these amazing humans and hysterical humans with a great sense of humor and a great sense of joy and a lust for life, who are like going, look, here's the deal, and
So how did they
Yeah.
open up to you? And it was particularly when what Susan just said, that so many veterans don't
Yeah.
want to talk about it. How did you get them to open up?
ask.
And it was all it took?
No, it really, it's all, truly, it's ask. And that's part of the disconnect, right? Is that not just veterans, but what we learned with veterans and their families, there's this sense of isolation sometimes, right? And a sense of, there's a separation. And the whole point of the piece was, how do we build bridges between those two communities?
You and that rifle become one. You eat, you sleep, You march, you crawl, you eat, you sleep. You march, you crawl, you eat, you sleep. You march, you crawl.